Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Saturday, January 2nd, 2015, around 7:01 in the morning in Billerica, Massachusetts. It's going to be a sunny day out, seasonably cold today, which is about 37, 38 degrees. This is what it should be this time of year. You can't have 50 and 60 degree weather all the time in New England. You would have to go south or Sacramento, California for that. And it's going to be at average temperatures this weekend. Monday and Tuesday, it's going to be cold. Temperatures won't get above 25, 26. But it will be a little bit warmer towards the end of the week. And next weekend, there's a possibility of rain or snow. Some news to report. The Cleveland Browns are going to fire their head coach, Mike Pentine, after Sunday's game. It seems like the Browns fire coaches every year or so. That's not good. That's not job security at all. I think a lot of coaches who want to be an NFL head coach probably would avoid getting hired by Cleveland Browns because they know they're not going to be there longer than a year or two. And New York Giants coach Tom Cullen on Monday is going to announce he's going to retire or resign. The Giants' third straight losing season, and that's not acceptable for the city of New York because Cullen won 2 Super Bowls in the past, and he's afraid that he sees the writing on the wall. And the Philadelphia 76ers lost again, so they're 3-32. They'll be lucky to win 12 to 15 games this year. And that's about it on that. My first video blog subject of the day is about the short-lived game show Pass the Buck, hosted by Bill Cullen. Pass the Buck was produced by Bob Stewart, and it was executive producer Bob Stewart's son, Sandy Stewart, and Bill Cullen had a long-term friendship with Bob Stewart in the 50s because Bill Cullen hosted the original version of Price is Right, and Bob Stewart was an executive producer for that. And when Bob Stewart left Goodson Tomlin Productions in the mid-60s, he formed his own production company, and Bill Cullen hosted every game show that Bob Stewart produced for about 17, 18 years. And Pass the Buck was filmed at the Ed Sullivan Studio in New York. Bob Stewart was one of the last game show producers to stay in New York. Even though game shows were being produced in Hollywood, California, him and Bill Cullen were the last 2 people associated with game shows to stay in New York through the late 60s and throughout most of the 70s. Pass the Buck ran on CBS for 13 weeks from April 3rd, 1978 through June 30th, 1978. And it was a word association game show. And this is how the game played for Pass the Buck. They had a bank that started at $100, and there were 4 contestants. And Bill Cullen would read a question. Name a game that's played with a ball, or name a famous cute leggy blonde, etc. And the contestants would start answering questions. If they got it right, they got $25. The bank would build up $25 each, and stuff, and it would be played until a contestant would duplicate an answer, would take too long to answer a question, or if they said an answer that the judge did not seem it was acceptable, and the next contestant could eliminate the previous contestant who got the question wrong with one right answer. If they got it wrong, they would be in jeopardy of being eliminated as well, because the next contestant would have to answer the question right, and if they did, they would eliminate both of those contestants who answered it wrong. But if they could not come up with a right answer, the 4th contestant could eliminate them all with one right answer. If they failed to get the question, that question that was already said would be eliminated, would be thrown out, and the pot would continue until somebody was eliminated. This process continued until there was one contestant left, that they eliminated all 3 of the contestants, they would win the pot, and they would go up to the bonus round, fast bucks, for a $5,000 if they got all of the questions right. They started at the first level. They had to get 4 questions right. Name a list of favorite toppings on a pizza, and they would have 15 seconds to get 4 questions what they had on the list on the board. If they got all 4 of them, they would win $5,000. If they got at least one of them, they would get $100 and it would stay in the round. But if they got nothing, the bonus game would be over. And they did the same thing with like the second level would be 3 right answers. They had to have at least 1 right answer to stay in the competition for $5,000. And if they got to the top level, they would only have to answer 1 question right within 15 seconds. The next to last level, 2 questions. They had to have at least 1 right answer to stay in the competition. If they failed to get anything, they would get the money they accumulated plus the 3 other contestants who were eliminated in the elimination round would come back to play, and those contestants would stay on until a contestant won $5,000. The winning contestant would stay on to show until they got eliminated and stuff. And Pass the Buck was a very great game show. It was kind of like a little bit of a variation of a game show that Bill Cullen would later host, Hot Potato. Pass the Buck was on CBS at 10 in the morning, Monday through Friday. For the first couple of weeks, it beat the competition on NBC, which was reruns of Sanford and Son. But on April 24th, 1978, NBC debuted Card Sharks with Jim Perry, and Card Sharks beat Pass the Buck pretty easily, and CBS decided to cancel it at the end of June, which was of 1978. A lot of people said it was disappointing because Pass the Buck was a fun little show, and it could have had a long-running thing on CBS. And the announcer of Pass the Buck was Bob Clayton. And all 65 episodes of Pass the Buck have been survived and stuff, and because CBS stopped wiping out game shows around 1972 and stuff. And reruns of Pass the Buck was seen on GSN during its dark period from October of 1997 through April of 1998. Regularly, they showed it a few times on like a game of the week and stuff, or a marathon. But like Pass the Buck has not been shown on GSN for many, many years, and there's been big rumors going around that Pass the Buck might be coming to Buzzer as kind of a special soon, because the president of general manager of Buzzer says he's open to the possibility of showing other game shows with other producers. He's open to that. So he mentioned Bob Stewart Productions could be high on that list, even though it's owned by Sony Pictures and owned by GSN. It hasn't seen the light of day in many years, so maybe like Buzzer could give Sony money so they could show it. We'll wait and see. And Pass the Buck maybe could be revived as like a GSN original. And that's about it on Pass the Buck. Be back later, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, with 2 more video blogs. One will be about the famous Macho Man Randy Savage versus Nature Boy Ric Flair feud in WWE and WCW. Ooh, yeah, dig it. And to be the man, you gotta beat the man. Woo! And the third and final video blog of the night about former NHL player Tim Kerr. Keep calm, everybody. I'm Julie Guy, Molly Rosenblatt of WCCO, Channel 4 rocks. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning. She's got nice legs. Amy Swansea, so awesome. And in the words of Dr. Thomas Sharkey, this action will not be tolerated at BMHS. Bye.